Hello, Market Watcher. I'm David Ravel, and this, our look at Wall Street for Wednesday, March 10th. Today, the stimulus package, an accountant's nightmare. Then, the latest reports out of China and the U.S. show that inflation still runs cold. All that, and our preview of the rest of today's corporate results, along with the latest news on the economy, coming right up. Well, the latest $1.9 trillion stimulus package is currently working its way through Congress. Passed by both the House and the Senate, the package is currently going through the process of reconciliation. It's reconciling both versions into a final law. This is yet another massive support bill, which, as one money manager pointed out this morning, many may consider our new way of life. It certainly is putting money in ordinary taxpayers' pockets. The latest estimate that I saw indicated that we may be receiving a check of up to $1,400. And we're not alone. In addition to these transfer payments to individuals, there are direct subsidies to businesses and grants to state and local governments, all included in the new stimulus. Add that all together, and you're talking a 10% impact on our nation's gross domestic product, the most accurate measure of this country's economy. So imagine that. In one fell swoop, Congress just boosted our economy by 10%. At least, that's what I naively assumed. But then I forgot that we're dealing with the U.S. government here, and things are seldom what they appear. Take all of those stimulus payments that we just spoke about, transfer payments to individuals, subsidies to businesses, and grants to state and local government. That makes up the bulk of the stimulus package. And it may surprise you to know that none of that is considered income. I know, it's hard to believe, but all of those, quote, transfer payments are not considered income, either by the government who paid it or by the entities who receive it. And this is all spelled out in a technical note to a technical note in the latest GDP release by the Bureau of Economic Analysis, dated on February 25th. Now, there is a piece of good news here, because these are simply transfer payments, then no tax is due on them. So that should be a relief when we all file our taxes in a couple of months. But from an accounting point of view, this is all a great black hole. The BEA declares that because these payments are not income, then the BEA cannot calculate the impact on our nation's GDP, on the economy. Imagine $1.9 trillion suddenly drops into our collective laps with an incalculable economic impact. But leave it to Wall Street to come up with an answer. And that answer all takes place in step 2 of this process. So in a few weeks, we'll all get our stimulus checks. And the real big question is, what do we do with the money? Do we spend it? Do we save it? Do we pay down debt? And in the answer to those questions lies the fate of this year's GDP growth. Now, on the one hand, Morgan Stanley, in a report published last night, projects that you and I will go on a spending spree, the likes of which we haven't seen in a very long time. And this spending will cause the economy to roar ahead at a better than 8% rate, far above what anyone else on the street projects. And frankly, Morgan Stanley's scenario is hard to envision given those states that remain in economic lockdown. But on the other hand, Bank of America Merrill Lynch is out with their economic report this morning, which projects that there will be virtually no impact at all from the stimulus. They point out to the last package that was sent out and the fact that people either paid down their debt, no real impact there, or saved their money, again, no real impact. So there you have it, the case of the disappearing stimulus. Now, you and I may get our checks, but the government can't really calculate what impact that will have on this economy. Now, in economic news today, some really interesting results in worldwide inflation. First reporting last night was China, and we're seeing a lot of economic news out of China this week as it corresponds with their National People Congress meeting, the big annual political meeting for that country. China reported that the country has actually slipped into a mild deflation over the last 12 months. Ending in February, price levels in China actually declined 0.2% for the year. That really is one of those fascinating little data points that seems so out of phase with most of the current thinking on the street. While here at home, the inflation rate came in at a 1.7% rate, right in line with expectations, but interestingly, still well below the Fed's unofficial target of 2%. Now, in earnings so far this morning, mostly bad news. The one shining light has been organic food company United Natural Foods, which saw its stock gain on those results. However, facing a much more harsh reaction were Campbell Soup Company and Tupperware Brands, the food storage people, as well as healthcare provider Multiplan Corporation and auto parts company Driven Brands. And that's our look at Wall Street for Wednesday, March 10. I'm David Revelle. Please join me in praying that our country may get back to work.